Sony TV. This is the XH8196. It's a 43-inch model. I think it's only the second Sony I've done this year, so it'll be interesting to see. I will just mention as well, got a tape measure here, so there are feet instead of a central stand, so I'll get a dimension and I'll timestamp it in the description where I measured the television. Okay, so top of the box first, I'll just tilt it that way. 2 pedestal feet, instruction book, pack, and the other foot. Okay, that's the TV itself. I'll just move the box. Okay, so just pop that to the side for the moment. So looking closely at the instruction book and remote pack, setup guide wasn't torn, I did that by mistake. Let's have a look. Premium remote control. Pop that open, I will get a close up of that in a moment. Large 19.5 volt power pack there, short figure 8 mains lead, inputs into there, that into the television. And I won't open this apart from to get the batteries, but it's instruction book in several languages. So quick look at the quick setup guide. That's the close-up of that setup guide there, so it will list out contents. 2 of you to lift it out, don't squeeze the screen, you will break it. 2 of you to lay it on a large soft flat surface that's clean as well. To put those pedestal feet in, we'll get a close-up of those feet as well. Shows them going in there with the screws. 2 of you to put it on your table. That's pretty much it, apart from connecting your leads and tucking them down the back of those feet. List of your connections there as well. So that's a look at one of those feet there. Nice piece of mild steel. We can see there we've got a portion or something to retain cables going down the side of those feet as well. Like I say, we'll get a dimension of the width of those apart. On the other one, we've got a screw pack, so some 10mm M4 screws there. A close up of the remote control. This is Bluetooth and infrared, so power button at the top, channel numbers, guide, etc. Google Play, Netflix, quick access. Guide button, the coloured buttons, whatever they refer to. Settings, quick access to, voice command button, source, back, home, TV, so straight to Freeview or your source, whether it be satellite or Freeview. Volume up and down, channels, audio settings, subtitles, help, fast forward, rewind, play, pause, record and exits. They may apply to apps, USBs or whatever device is using. Possibly a portable hard drive if you've got one plugged in for recording. Pop the back off, push there somewhere, and treble A batteries in the back, like so. TV is laid face down. As my large flat surface, I've got the box and the bag just to protect it from being scratched. 2 metal feet here. They are labelled 2 and 1. Can't see anything that refers to that on the back of the TV, but I know I've got this tab here into that slot and 2 threaded holes if that shows up. But that's simply into there like so, with the screws. So my M4 screws there. Gently just wind those in through those through holes. Same for the other side. out. Okay, quick wiggle to check they're in nice and firmly. I'll just point out there while we can see it, that is where the 19 volt DC input goes in. Power pack can be tucked away. We've got these channels here to retain the wires to keep them tidy so we're not seeing too much cable when we're looking at it from the front. Okay, so looking closely at the back, we can just see that DC 19 volt input there. Probably one of the stupidest wall mount sort of VESA patterns I've seen. It's 200 tall by 100 wide. You might struggle if you want to get it on an arm bracket. You'll have to find something suitable to fit that, but it doesn't make sense to me. It's easy for a flat mount, I suppose. Looking in here, we've got HDMI 4 in there. So analog audio headphone out, digital optical out, wired internet, and what is that one? Yellow AV input, so composite video in as well. And coming round to the side of the TV, what can we see? We've got satellite, terrestrial TV in, ARC is HDMI 3, HDMI 2 and 1, does have USB 3, a USB 3 socket there, and a normal USB 2 socket. Stated at 500 milliamps for both. Oh no, 500 and 900, sorry my eyes need testing. Okay, that is the assembled product. I'll try and get close up so we can have a look at the bezel as well. Like a brushed metal finish on there. Fairly low profile. Look at it from the top down, so nice thin top half of the screen. And then it does get thicker towards the bottom. I'll measure that on the dimensions. And that is it from the back. See if I can get close to those sockets again. Oh, CI card slot reader I did miss as well. TV dimensions, these are quite important when you've got feet like this in the TV. They may not fit many people's stands, although they're not too wide apart, but at the widest point there, they're either 63 centimetres or just under 25 inches. Depth from the front to the back, about 27.5 centimetres or 11 inches. The height as it stands, 6.5 centimetres or just over 2.5 inches from whatever it stood on to the bottom of the screen. Thickness, let's have a look. Let's say 2.25 inches or about 56-57 millimeters at its thickest part. That is pretty much it. If it's of reference to anyone, I'll measure to the first VESA hole. So from the bottom of the TV to the first VESA hole there is about 6.5 centimeters. TV is now wired with mains, internet and aerial. That's detected the wide internet. I'm going to skip the Google sign in for now. If you do have a Google account, you may as well sign in. You will need it to download your apps. So I'll accept that. I'll say yes to location for now, no for feedback. Not interested in those either. Okay, so get apps from the Play Store because it's Android based. Talk to the Google Assistant, which I actually prefer Google to Alexa and other things. Cast to your TV from your phone. Okay, so you have to scroll down to say you've read the privacy policy and agree to all. Don't have to select that one or that one. Okay. So, parental lock. It's asking what I've got there. The only thing I have is digital aerial. If you've got Sky, Virgin, Cable, any of these sorts of services, go through the TV box setup. As for me, I am only using that one input. That's now scanning the airwaves for my source input, which is terrestrial aerial, so it may take a few minutes. I'll probably cut and skip this bit. Okay, so this is important. If you have tuned by aerial, it will ask your region, and it is the region where your aerial is pointing, not what you'd prefer. So mine is Yorkshire and Leeds. Okay, so quick summary there. 189 channels stored by digital aerial. Next. What devices would you like to set up, e.g. games consoles, PVRs, DVRs and whatever else? I have nothing else, or no Blu-ray or disc player, so connect later. Specify how your TV is positioned. This is to get the best and optimise the sound. Mine is on a tabletop stand, so you choose either which is appropriate, wall mount or tabletop stand. Just going back to the devices there as well. I know when you go through the setup, if you are setting up a PVR or Blu-ray, you can set the remote to be a universal remote to control those as well. But anyway, for now, tabletop stand. So register there, not going to do that because it's in a store. You can register it, but obviously you register via warranty anyway. I think it's just for marketing more than anything else. Register at any time, thank you. Checking for software updates. Samba TV. So not interested in that. Yeah. So we don't use, well, I don't use Samba, but if you do use it, obviously, then say yes. I'll say complete there. Okay, so it's straight onto the hub. While it's on here, we'll have a quick look, see what's already here. So we've got, straight up in the top corner, we can see it saying set up AirPlay and HomeKit. So Apple products, you can do your AirPlay, screen mirroring, or have your home Apple products connect to it. I'll just say close for now. So we've got live catch up and TV there first of all. Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, Google Play, so that's their version of on-demand TV, premium content. Sony, bonus offers, other things you can add there to your favourites. Oops, something's loading. Let me just go back to that. So we've got Netflix, iPlayer, iTV Hub, 4 or all 4, My5, UView. So UView is you can rewind the TV guide, go back to what was on earlier in the day and play it back using the internet to provide that content. Now TV, Prime Video, Rakuten, Disney Plus, BritBox, Sony, BBC News, BBC Sounds, BBC Sport, Mubi, Chili, Spotify there for your music and so on. TV, that will be my source input, which I'll go to, and then there's a quick sort of breakdown of what's on each. So Netflix, some highlighted programs, or YouTube, Play Movies and so on, or Prime with Borat, which is quite funny. But anyway, onto live TV. It says
president and the president's behavior. I've said this elsewhere, it's a team sport. It's really up to how a lot of over 300 million people in this country, it's up to how those people behave. But you're not overselling it. You know, I think what we've now seen is this kind of confusion as to how we toggle back and forth. Of course, I don't quite, give too much credence to the political argument that we saw there between one of the cable TV interviewers and the White House chief of staff. But I do understand that there's a difference between suppression tactics, as the people in Great Britain.
Okay, so that is straight onto Freeview there. I'll just turn it down. So that's a live feed. Not looking the best. We'll just wait till he gets his face off the screen.
Look at what's happening in Europe and Christian life.
So studio shot there with a live feed from the news. That is a full HD broadcast.
In the morning that we were going to see a spike in cases here about 2 weeks following from Europe. Do you think that leaders here, do you think we should be taking more restrictions now in the United States, perhaps following the example of some of those European countries? Is that the way sort of inevitably that we're heading?
Yes. In fact, this is really hard for me to watch because the first time we saw a first wave.
Stadium in Singapore, they take on the Italian champions, Juventus. Spurs include the likes of Dele Alli, Heung-min Son, and Toby Alderweireld in their starting 11. Juventus versus Tottenham Hotspur, a fixture many in his kind of area. Heung-min Son for Spurs. And Clark slipped it in terms of form from that moment on. It's a Mandzukic great ball. And he directed it to the corner. And those two working again. 4-on-3 here for Spurs. Son, well laid off, and Buffon makes a fine save, but it's carried in by Eric Lamela. Troy Parrott denied on the first attempt, but Lamela was there to beat Buffon. Spurs have been the better team, and on the half hour, they lead Juventus. The foul to me on the edge of the penalty area. We play on. I believe it was. And brilliant work again by Walker Peters.
Boy, he was excellent in terms of his hold-up play. I can see him being there was an opportunity here.
Kane, what has he done? What a goal to win it! Szczesny's caught out. Harry Kane has scored the goal of this tournament. That is extraordinary.
Cool. Okay, so back to normal TV on standard picture settings. It does look a really good picture. It is an HD channel. I'll just turn up the sound. Hopefully we'll hear some speech in a moment.
Tonight at 10, the pressure on hospitals with COVID admissions on the rise and difficult choices for the NHS. We get access to a busy hospital in Newcastle where doctors say they have learned valuable lessons, but the virus is still a major threat.
COVID continues to make people critically ill, it continues to make people's organs fail, it continues to cause death.
And while the pressure intensifies, hospitals do seem to be managing to juggle their demands more effectively.
Doctors now know so much more about COVID and how best to treat the disease, and that means many more patients are surviving intensive care.
We'll have the latest as parts of Nottinghamshire and Warrington become the latest to prepare to enter Tier 3. That's the highest alert level in England. Also tonight, following the high-profile campaign to extend free school meals in England, the Prime Minister is still resisting calls to rethink his approach.
We don't want to see children going hungry this winter, this Christmas, certainly not as a result of any inattention by this government, and you're not going to see that.
Go hungry, don't go
Tracking
hungry.
the Trump wall, a report from Arizona on the place of immigration in the US presidential campaign. Why patches of hidden water could boost plans to build a permanent base on the moon. And we talk to the iconic British fashion designer, Sir Paul Smith, who's celebrating the 50th anniversary of his clothing label. Good evening. Parts of England are facing tougher new COVID restrictions. The city of Nottingham.
Okay, so I think I'll call that it for now. So a fairly decent middle of the road 4K TV. The only thing I didn't like was that 100 wide by 200mm high VESA mount. But apart from that, pretty good all round. Good.